Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Well, this has been Goose Chase.
Guys, Dave tried to ruin the
I
episode.
didn't try to ruin anything.
You tried to ruin the episode by skipping.
Nobody knows that we do a little stupid dance at the beginning of every
I feel
episode.
like, have we not mentioned that?
No.
Only our guests know about our ritual, but he tried to skip the ritual, guys.
The rituals are important. I'm the first one to admit that. I forgot about our every episode ritual.
Yeah, 91 episodes. This is the 91st episode.
We didn't do it for every episode. We started somewhere in the middle, I'm sure.
We did start somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
It was definitely after moving to this room.
Yeah, that's right. But we have a ritual where we listen to the theme song and then we do stupid dances to it, and like weird dance moves, and like middle fingers.
Usually inappropriate in some way.
And I tried to skip it because I forgot.
Yeah, how dare you?
I dare.
All right, you're not into this bit. It's
no,
okay.
Can't muster enthusiasm for it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're not the first time I've heard that.
What?
I don't know.
I'll be here all night, folks.
But so catch up. Let's do some little catch up.
We'll catch up.
Little ketchup and mustard.
We have not been in this studio for basically 2 weeks.
Yup.
Last week we just you ended up working really late and it just wasn't gonna work.
Yeah,
so
when I'm scheduled to close, it just sucks because I'm supposed to work until 7:30, but we have to work until we're done, and it's about 30 minutes away. So by the time I get home, and try to figure out something to eat, it's just impossible.
Right.
So didn't happen last week, but it happened this week.
Yeah, right. Well, it's happening now.
It's happening right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, and right now.
Wow.
But last weekend we had a nice little treat because
what happened?
Dave earnestly asks because he can't remember.
I just can never remember what happened ever.
I know, I can't either usually, but normally we host our friends on Sundays.
Yeah.
And this Sunday, our friends hosted us, or one of our friends, Matt and also Claire.
Yeah.
Hosted us at their place for a Friendsgiving's meal, and it was amazing. And in true our friends order, we brought way too much food, good food. All of our friends can cook.
Yeah, we are surrounded by friends with a lot of talent in a lot of things.
Yeah,
they're all
very
very
lucky.
funny people. They're all very clever people. They all cook very well.
Matt and Claire did a really good job with the meal. Everything they made was very, very yummy. So thank you for that, guys. But
he gave me the recipe for how he made the turkey. And I'm super gonna do that for New Year's. I'm very excited about that.
So that was really fun, and they have a dog named Hemi, who's just so good. Hemi, you're such a good boy.
That's a good dog.
Yeah, he's good. He's chocolate lab, and he's really cuddly, and also wants all the food.
Mm-hmm. Well, what dog doesn't want all the food?
It's true. But I had a lot of fun there, and had a good time hanging out.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
And then the day before, I had gone to a wrestling event. You did not go.
That's right. Okay.
Local wrestling, Real Action Pro Wrestling is the name of the promotion, shortened to RAPW.
Yeah.
And my brother is now a part of that, and I'm friends with many of the people who do that. John, also known as his wrestling name, Bouncer, is in charge of that. He does a really good job with it. And it was a lot of fun. I went to 2 in a row. I went to the Halloween one, and then I went to was their Thanksgiving one.
Yeah.
Which was also the anniversary of their promotion. So they had a bunch of people who used to wrestle with them but don't anymore come back for a Royal Rumble thing, and that was a lot of fun. The Halloween one, they had a Royal Rumble, but everyone was in costume. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They do a really good job. They have their character storylines and arcs, and it's so good.
My favorite thing is the
fun.
audience who are 100% convinced, some of them.
some of them are very invested in what happens.
Yeah, that all of it is like 100% for real.
Yes.
This is a fun detail.
Yes.
These like super fans who are like, oh my God, did you see that? I hope they're all right.
Who will message people who are part of the promotion in between shows and check on them and make sure they're okay because of what happened at the last show.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, which is very sweet.
Right.
But it was a lot of fun, and my brother wrestled. He got the crap beat out of him because to sum this up very quickly, at the Halloween event, some stuff happened where there was an I quit match, and to force the other wrestler to say I quit, a wrestler who goes by the name of Kip dragged the other wrestler's wife into the ring and threatened to do a wrestling move on her. The other guy Bill said I quit, but he did the move on her anyway. And so that's like the big inciting incident. Yeah. So at last weekend's show, they were having a match because that's how you settle your problems when someone assaults your wife.
Sure.
So
yeah. You meet him in the ring, not like in a court.
Right. Well, he did. He was arrested.
Oh, is that part of it?
Yeah. So
oh, wow.
They have an unsanctioned match, and my brother came out dressed as Kip.
Yeah.
And so the wrestler Bill was like beating on him because he thought he was Kip, and then he wears like a bandana around his mouth. It fell off, and he realized it wasn't Kip. And then when he turned around, Kip was in the ring, which was actually done very well because I was busy looking at my brother getting beat up, and I didn't even see him like go into the ring. So
wow, all right.
Very good use of misdirection there. But so there was that, and then my brother was a part of the Royal Rumble, so it was a lot of fun. And the best non-wrestling part, I won a 22-pound turkey.
Oh my God. What an awesome win.
Yeah, I put in, and I didn't even tell you, that wasn't the only thing they were raffling.
No, you did tell me there were other things they were raffling. You put in for other items.
Well, it's one raffle.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, they just draw 3 times for the raffle prizes.
Okay.
And one was like a Bloody Mary kit or margarita kit or something. Mm-hmm. And then one was a t-shirt that wouldn't have fit either of us anyway, so I really didn't want that. And then the turkey. And I was like, please, let me get the turkey. I put in a bunch of tickets.
It's a massive, massive turkey.
It's a big old baby.
That's going to be... I already am kind of bad at carving a turkey. That's going to be a special kind of challenge.
Nah, it'll be okay. Maybe we should get one of those electric knives.
Yeah, one of those like turkey carvers.
I think they had one at Aldi.
Maybe
we should go back for it.
That'd be a good idea. It's not even that it's hard to cut through, though. It's that
it's just awkward.
The anatomy of that bird is weird. Yeah. Have you ever carved a turkey, broken a turkey down?
I have not.
Okay, so there's lots of it that makes sense. Like the breastbone of a turkey makes sense because you have the middle right there, and you just kind of run the knife underneath, and you hack off the breast meat, and then you have just the breastbone there, and that makes sense. And then everything else is this confusing where, like, I know that the bone kind of go, like, how do I get the knife into the right spot to separate
I'm
this
sure
bone?
There's a diagram, or we should watch a YouTube video on the best way to carve a turkey.
I've watched people do this. I just can't figure it out. Once you get in there, it's like okay, you know what it's kind of like is the corn maze, where we went to the corn maze, and it's like, I can read the map. I'm already lost.
I was having a really hard time placing. I think part of the problem when we went to the corn maze is it was the end of the season.
The walls were all like kind of
it was a little bit trampled, and so it was really hard to see what actually was path and what wasn't, and that made it a little harder to relate where you were in relation to where you were on the map.
Right.
But yeah, that was a challenge that I was not up for. It was my birthday, and I was like, everybody else lead the way.
Yeah, that was a very confusing experience.
Yeah.
Much like carving a turkey.
Yeah, sometimes you get lost in that turkey, and you just can't find your way out, and you have to text a special number for them to come get you.
Yeah, right. It's just like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's confusing breaking down a bird, even if you know what you're doing.
No, I understand that.
But I want to get better at it.
I know.
And a big old honking turkey is a good excuse to learn. You know?
For people who don't know this about Dave, every now and then we'll just be like sitting around and he'll go, I want to get really good at making insert food item here.
Yeah, right.
So sometimes it's pizza and pizza dough. Sometimes it's turkey.
Mm-hmm.
You did a practice turkey.
Yeah, the practice turkey turned out okay.
It was good.
There's a lot of leftover meat on that bird, though. And that's what I'm getting at. Is it's hard to, like, get all the meat off there.
I see what you're saying.
Without leaving a bunch left over.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I can hack off this, that, and the other thing, but getting all that meat cleanly carved off the bone.
Well, with a 22-pound turkey, it kind of doesn't matter if you get all of it.
That's true, too. It might matter, because if this year is anything like last year, there's going to be too many people.
Yeah, I actually want to start talking to you. Not on the podcast, but about the party and making plans for it and all that stuff.
Just getting ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole to-do, and we have like a month and a half before it happens, so.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it feels right that maybe we should break up some stuff right now. We're not breaking up. Maybe we should break up this podcast.
Wow, you picked a weird time to tell me this. It feels right that we should break up.
That was poor phrasing. And not in any way intentional.
It
feels right that we should break up.
It's like, oh, all right. Thank you for choosing this highly public and embarrassing venue for telling me that.
Like this is live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Break up the podcast a bit by playing a game.
I like that more. What kind of game? Yeah. What kind of game are you thinking about?
Have you ever heard of an internet game called Trues and Fnews?
No.
Oh my God, the dead air.
You mean to tell me why you wouldn't happen to mean...
It's time for Trues and Fnews.
Time to play Trues and Fnews. Everyone's playing a famous game, the game that's taken the internet by storm.
It's time for Trues and Fnews.
A Merv Griffin production.
All right. Well, tell me then what. Why don't you tell me what Trues and Fnews is? I know.
Okay.
Sorry. Starting off rough here.
Ooh, well, Trues and Fnews is a little game, a fun game, an internet game where we will. I can't do it. You're making faces at me, and it's cracking me up.
Try again. Sorry.
Trues and Fnews is a game, a fun game, an internet game. I can't look at you. Where I will give you 3 headlines. 2 are false, also known as Fnews. 1 is true, also known as Trues. And you gotta guess which is which. Oh,
nailed it.
No, you messed me up. You kept making these weird faces at me. Ugh.
Yeah, it's fun.
And then he was doing the speed up gesture.
Yeah, which is admittedly rude and throws anyone off the game.
I started it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I want to play that game, God damn it.
Are you ready?
I think so.
All right. First headline. Mm-hmm. New Jersey Institute of Technology students are told to choose new mascot when their contest winner, the Fighting Ferengi, is deemed culturally insensitive.
Ferengi?
The dog just made a weird noise.
Yeah, what's he doing out there? Just...
I don't know what he always does.
Fighting Ferengi?
Yes. Like the Star Trek race.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yes.
Go on.
All right. Second headline. Real goose attacked several tourists at annual Goose Statue Festival in Neepawa, Manitoba.
If that's true, that's very strange.
All right. Third one. Iowa paid a security firm to break into a courthouse, then arrested employees when they succeeded.
Wait. Okay, I'm going to have to hear that one again, but if that's the case, that's very... well, okay, never mind.
Want to wait for the recap?
Yeah,
okay.
Give me the recap. Yeah.
New Jersey Institute of Technology students are told to choose new mascot when contest winner, the Fighting Ferengi, is deemed culturally insensitive.
Okay.
Second, real goose attacked several tourists at annual Goose Statue Festival in Neepawa, Manitoba.
Neepawa.
Nipawa.
Okay.
And third, Iowa paid a security firm to break into a courthouse, then arrested employees when they succeeded.
That can't... Okay, so here's the thing. That third thing happens all the time. They definitely hire people, different, businesses, for example, will hire a company to hack them to demonstrate how vulnerable they are here, there, or whatever. Mm-hmm. The idea of then arresting them, that would be such a big mistake. That makes, I don't understand. I can't imagine that really happening.
Okay. Well, what's your...
Oh my God. I'm really irritated.
I like watching you try to logic them through.
Because if that happened, that seems like really just like reprehensible if they would actually arrest people for doing that job. Because that's like white hat hacking is a thing, you know? Goose thing could be real. Goose thing could be real. If there's a goose statue festival, it would stand to reason it's in a place where there's geese. And people care about geese there, right?
Mm-hmm. The Canada goose.
And I don't think the Ferengi thing would be considered inappropriate or insensitive. Because it's a Ferengi. It's not a real thing.
People find a lot of things.
You're right. You're right. You're right. I'm gonna go with the third one only because I don't think you wrote it, but I can't believe that they would do this. So I'm going with 3.
You are correct.
No, yeah. I've never been more disappointed to be right.
Not only so this happens, like you said, this happens all the time.
Yeah.
So a firm is paid to test the security of a business or organization, in this case, the state of Iowa.
Yeah.
And sometimes this is digital security.
Uh-huh.
So it would be like any websites they have or anything where you have like secure data.
Yeah.
Especially like companies that have like member information or billing information, stuff
store
like
a lot
that.
of people's personal information, yeah.
And sometimes it is brick and mortar security.
Uh-huh. Like
in the case of the courthouse in Iowa, where they want to see how easy would it be for someone to break into here. So these 2 gentlemen from Coal Fire, I think is the company they work for, were sent to the courthouse to see if they could break in easily or how easily or if they could at all.
Yeah.
And pretty quickly they located a door that had been propped open.
Okay.
So there they go. They're in. But to further test it, they closed the door and then reopen it to see like if they could get back in or what happened, and it set an alarm off. So then, security and police come to them, and usually in this situation what happens is they present their ID and explain what's going on, and they have proof of their contract with them because they're prepared for this situation.
Right.
And usually that resolves it. It doesn't go as far as them being actually arrested. In this case, they were arrested.
Okay, they didn't believe him.
Well, no, they believed them. They were still arrested. They were charged. And it seems like what's really happening is that there was some miscommunication between the sheriff and the state.
Okay.
And it just seems like maybe the sheriff felt like someone was pissing in his oatmeal a little bit. Like,
okay.
It was not his decision for them to do this, and maybe he's trying to prove a point. It seems like they're caught in the middle of something else that has nothing to do with them.
Yeah, I guess.
But they were charged, and then to correct it, they lessened the charges from burglary to like breaking and entering, which is
that's not fair.
Yeah.
It's a misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. Yeah. Yes. So I think this might have happened maybe as early as September. There's been articles out about this since like September of this year. There's one in October, and the most recent article was in November. But this is still going on. And the owner of the company they work for has come out putting pressure on them, saying like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
This is their job. They were paid to do this. We have a signed contract. Your dispute the sheriff and the state having a dispute has nothing to do with these two guys who were just doing their job.
Yeah, plus also I would like to I would think that the next time they go to do this job or do this business somewhere else, they might have a hard time securing a contract because they have breaking and entering on their record.
Yeah, and also that if this stands, this is a huge deal for security firms.
Yeah, right.
That's a huge deal. That will affect an entire industry if this stands. And so far, it seems like it's been months, and I didn't see anything about them dropping the charges. And they basically are saying, well, if you're making this a thing about professionalism, it'll wash out in court.
I don't like that at all.
Yep. Yeah, that's a real thing that happened in Iowa.
Yeah, in Iowa. Well, gosh, it seems like maybe the thing was that if they in fact found vulnerabilities that would make someone look bad, maybe it was the sheriff's department that would look bad.
It seems like it.
And so
it seems like it, and he seems to have not been on board, or maybe it was a situation that they weren't informed, and they're salty about that or whatever. It's not the fault of the guys doing their job.
It's really uncool to put that on them.
And if in the future I see it going, it's going to make the jobs of these people harder. I don't see this ending, like the industry going away.
Right.
Obviously, because it's necessary. But I feel like in order to secure contracts, they would be like doing even more due diligence and checking with whoever where the courthouse was and being like, hey, are you okay with this? But the state probably didn't want them in on it.
Right.
They wanted to know on an average day, how easy is it for someone to compromise the courthouse? Like,
right.
They don't want you to necessarily be prepared and be like, well, we're coming at this date and time, batten down the hatches.
Yeah, right.
Like,
the whole nature of those things is to, catch people when they're off guard.
Yeah.
Which, sure, has to piss people off more than not. Because someone always looks bad.
Yeah, but it's not the fault of the people doing their job.
No, it's not. God, that sucks. I will figure your shit out.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Yeah. So a real goose did not attack tourists at an annual goose statue festival.
That was a clever one. That was a good one to write.
Which is, as far as I can tell, is not a thing that exists, but it should.
Goose Statue Festival.
Yes, because goose statues are a thing, and people dress them up.
What?
Yes, this is a thing.
What are you talking about?
Goose statues, like a lawn ornament kind of thing. People usually put them on their porches.
Oh, okay.
And then buy outfits for them. I want to do this so bad. If you can't, I want a goose. And they get little bonnets and dresses for Easter, or put a bikini on them in the summertime.
I like that.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that could definitely be a festival. Have a contest for the best dressed goose, or you know.
That's fun.
And then sometimes real geese get salty. Have to interrupt things.
Oh.
And no one was offended by the fighting Ferengi.
You know what? That one, the thing is, it really tempted me.
I try to sweeten the deal by making it an Institute of Technology. If anyone was going to choose it to be the fighting Ferengi, it would be an Institute of Technology.
Those were good dupes. Those were well written.
But were they good spoops?
No. They were good for news.
All right.
But yeah, thanks. That was good. That was fun. I cannot believe those poor guys.
Yeah. So when I originally picked that to be the truths, it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so I checked today before going on to see if there are any updates, and I haven't seen any update on that. So.
Oh my God, it's so annoying.
Yeah, if anyone has more insight into that, or knows more about it, or has a personal investment in that fucked up situation, let us know, because I'm interested to see how people feel about that.
Well, okay. Well, why don't we take a break?
Take a break?
Yeah.
All right.
Why don't we do that?
All right.
I don't have any middle segment, and this might be a slightly longer topic. Not really that long, but there's going to be
it's fine.
Whatever. It's fine. Whatever, it's fine. So we'll take a break, and we'll be back in a minute with the main segment for this episode.
All right.
Boing, boing, boing.
And we're back.
We are back.
We are so back.
So it's been 2 weeks since I did this research, so trying to remind myself what I wrote about. Which will be fun. I'm excited about this one.
I know you were excited. Dave is pulling something out of his pocket.
I have
scraps
stuff.
of ripped paper.
I have a demonstration, which won't happen until later.
You did tell me that there was going to be a demonstration.
Yes. I'm just making sure I know what I'm doing.
Oh my God, Bo.
Did I? Yeah, okay. So this one goes over. Sorry, this is horrible radio. Let me put
So
the
Dave is fiddling with paper. There's 3 pieces. They're folded. He's putting them in front of him in different places.
These are the demonstration. All right,
He's putting them around his can of Milwaukee's Best Ice.
Nasty
like
old
some kind
dad
of
beer.
tribute.
I'm setting those aside for now. Those are just those. I just had to sort them out. So this topic is one suggested by Jason, who I used to work with. I don't know if I told you this.
I don't think you did.
But he was asking me one day what the podcast was that we do, and when I told him, he told me he had this idea that might make a good topic, which I'll just jump into this right now, and it's numbers stations. Do you know about these?
Yes, I feel like we recently talked about them.
Yeah, I might have even told you that I was going to research this. I can't remember for sure.
But I didn't know when. I just knew it was something you wanted to research,
right.
I think so.
So this is all about number stations, which I'm going to start on them by saying, and I know you watched some of it. I don't know how many people listening to this watched Lost when Lost was on. I was a huge fan of Lost, as you know. I loved it.
We went on
very
vacation together once, and the majority of the vacation, everyone was inside our house that was walking distance from the beach.
Yeah.
In with the air turned to 68 degrees. It was frigid.
It was a nerd vacation.
Under blankets in the dark watching Lost.
Everyone was nerds. That's why.
That's true.
It was a nerd vacation.
I did watch quite a bit of Lost. I did not continue watching it after that vacation.
I've now watched the whole show like twice or maybe 3 times. I can't remember. I really like that show a lot. I think it's the only show that ABC ever made that I actually care about.
And then they had a horrible ending. So
yeah, it's not what I wanted. But that's like it's not what I wanted. But it was like whatever. So basically, Lost was a cool show where people were crashed on an island. Their plane crashed there, and they were abandoned. And there was a very interesting sci-fi story that was building up on the show, especially in the first season.
You get little details as you go about just increasingly weird happenings on the island where they're crashed, and you get little bits and pieces of backstory and start to realize maybe there's more to this than a freak accident, and little things as you go.
It was a show that unraveled itself slowly, which I really liked. And it was one of those shows that you end up speculating with your friends in the week between episodes, and people
or in the minutes between episodes if you watched it the way we did.
That's true. But it had a way of developing a bunch of fan theories and stuff, and it was cool.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is really cool on the show is they managed to find a working radio at some point, right? And they're listening for, some kind of nearby broadcast or something. They're trying to basically reach help. And they tune in to a radio station where they hear a woman's voice, and she's reading a list of numbers. And you remember the numbers from the show probably, which is 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. I will never forget those numbers for the rest of my life. They are burned into my head. But this was a cool mystery because it's like it's cryptic, and it doesn't immediately become obvious why those numbers are being read. And then at the end of every time they read the numbers, there's a counter of how many times it's been read. And it's just been going on for like a really long time. So that's a fictionalized account of something that actually happens. These number stations are a real thing. They're not exactly like that, but they're similar. They exist in the real world. There are a lot of them. More than you would think.
I think when we talked about this, you said you might research it, but you didn't know how much there was, if it was really going to be enough for a topic.
Right. I wasn't sure if this was enough to talk about. I found a lot of information.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. So I want to look at the kinds of number stations that there are, and what we can learn from them, and what is the most likely explanation for them.
And then there'll be a test.
There sort of is. I'll explain as we get there. So yeah. Anyway, why would anyone create a radio station that reads off numbers? Is the question, right? The question is, who would sink an unknown amount of time and resources into like building out this like schedule of transmitting numbers over the radio, and what's the goal with it? Would be the natural questions, right? According to Wikipedia, the earliest known number station was discovered during World War One, which surprised me. That's a long time ago, and that's just the first discovered. This is Archduke Anton, a young boy during World War One, discovered the first number station transmission. His full name is ridiculous.
Yeah.
His full name is,
he's an archduke.
Well, that's the thing, is like these like little royal boys with eternal names are like a thing.
Because they can't let any name go.
Right.
Any name that anyone's ever had in the family.
His name was Anton Maria Franz Leopold Blanca Karl Joseph Ignaz Raphael Michael Margarita Nicetas von Habsburg Lorraine.
Ignaz.
Ignaz. I-G-N-A-Z.
Ignaz.
Ignaz. I'm going to say that again because it's fun. Anton Maria Franz Leopold Blanca Karl Joseph Ignaz Raphael Michael Margareta Nicetas von Habsburg Lorraine.
Yeah. Sounds right.
Born in 1901. Died the year we were born. 87.
Okay.
Lived a good 86 years or whatever.
Yeah. Nice long life. You know what kept him, healthy and thriving for so long? Yeah. All 27 of his names. That's the secret.
Yeah, he would like recite them over and over in
We're
his head.
failing.
And rub a stone.
Yeah, something like that.
I am a little bit suspicious because I think he's probably just the first one to notice this. I think they probably were around even for longer than that.
Yeah.
And also because he's like an important person, I think whoever probably discovered it before him was probably forgotten.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But his story was that as a boy, he loved radio. He accidentally caught like something that seemed important, like a number transmission of some kind, and he brought it to the attention of the local war office, and then kept bringing them.
Little boys do.
Isn't that weird? It was a little boy with a job for the war, apparently. And he would bring every day the transmissions. He would bring them to the local war office. The most commonly attributed purpose of these number stations is to try to share some kind of information covertly. Like
it's the codes.
Yeah, codes, exactly. Either with spies or, for someone else. It's information that is sensitive in some kind of way, right? The numbers being read are typically some form of a coded message or a cipher, where if you have the the decoder, you can decode a message. It's essentially cryptography, which we'll get more into later. And it works. It works fairly well. Some number stations don't employ like someone reading numbers, so some of them will be like weird tones or odd like frequencies.
Okay. So it could even use something like Morse code or...
Yes. Yeah, it can use a number of different means of transmitting that information.
Yeah. So as long as you have the cipher, as long as you have that part of the code,
Yeah.
then it makes sense to you.
Yeah, right, exactly. And if you don't, it doesn't. So one important feature of these is like, since they're often shortwave radio, it's possible to bounce these signals all over the globe very easily.
Okay.
Which is another thing that makes them really useful.
So it's possible that people who the code isn't intended for are going to end up hearing it just by the way that these work.
Yeah, the people who the code is intended for in almost any location on Earth should be able to hear them, because the shortwave bounces all around the world. It's a really reliable way to get a message across the planet. So anyway, I'm going to talk about one of the more famous numbers stations that was ever discovered. It was known as UVB 76. It's, like I said, it's one of the most famous ever. It was located in Russia at the frequency of 4625 kilohertz. And when you listen to broadcasts from it, it's kind of interesting. It's a little bit creepy. It's primarily a buzzing two-tone pattern. Like, it'll make two notes and a pause and two notes and a pause.
Did you get to listen to this?
I did. You can listen.
Is it still current?
Yes. Well, oh, wait, no. Wait a minute. Yeah, it is. It is. It relocated, which I'll get into. But yes, that signal's still out there. I don't think it's any longer at 4625 kilohertz, though. But anyway, it's once in a while the two-tone signal would stop and someone would read numbers or a series of Russian names, which is really interesting and creepy. So the first time this was detected was in 1973. It was probably operating before that. Like is often the case, when something is discovered, it's been around a while, right? It's the kind of thing you would associate with the Cold War for sure.
Yeah. I was going to say that it's depending on who heard this first, I'm sure there was a little bit of panic.
Yeah, well, it's not the only Russian station that does this, and it's been suspected for a long time that this was a means of like Cold War communication.
What it's reminding me of is Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, there was a similar thing with.
It was a series of words, and they were trying to crack the code.
Yeah, right.
A series of words in Russian.
Very much based on reality. I'm glad you mentioned that. I forgot all about that. But yeah, that's very much based in reality.
Well, that takes place during the Cold War. They really.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get excited about that show all over again for a second. But one thing I really like about that show, obviously it's fiction, but they do a good job of pulling in some truth, a little bit of history of what it would have looked like and felt like, and making it real enough that it doesn't break up the story for you.
Yeah. Right.
Doesn't take you out of it because it feels like what the 80s during the Cold War would feel like.
Yeah.
And maybe how things would happen if there were weird, maybe alien interdimensional beings, also Russians in your mall.
Sure. Well, it's if all the weirdest possible versions of what could explain this lore actually happened in your town. Yeah. That kind of thing.
All right. Anyway, back to the topic.
Yeah. So, amazingly, so basically this thing went on from when it was first detected in 1973 all the way up until 2010, at which point the transceiver was disconnected and relocated. People had an idea roughly of where it was by triangulating the signal strength. So they were fairly sure they knew where it was. And then it was moved, and it no longer corresponded with where they thought it had been located before. Urban explorers found the site where it had been previously located. They were pretty sure that they had found it. They had good reason to think so. It was a bunker in Povarovo, which is like, I think, northwest of Moscow. Or maybe it's southwest. I can't remember. I looked it up on the map, though. There was a bunker and that was no longer operational. And inside, they found a radio record log, which confirmed that the radio that had been located there operated at 4625 kilohertz, which is kind of a cool find, right?
Yes.
Like, there's like cables and like control panels all over the place in the pictures. It's definitely a place you can see used to do something.
Yeah.
And then this radio log that confirms it, which is nice and, I don't know, creepy and fun, right? Here's some more weird details. One of the explorers is a guy named Igor Evsiev, I think is how you would say that. And when he was exploring the town that the bunker was located in, he encountered two people on his way like around the town.
Funny thing about those people he encountered, two of them. Nobody knows what that is.
So one of the people he encountered was a man on a bike that came from a road that he knew led to a forest. So like a guy riding a bike just out of the forest, maybe, right? And then the guy passed him and headed into the direction of a field that he knew also went on for miles and miles. So a guy just like rode his bike out of a forest and then rode his bike into a field, which is weird, right?
Out of the forest and into the field. That's what they say.
That's the expression, all right. The other person he encountered was a woman in her mid-40s that she was pushing a stroller, right? Mm-hmm. And there was no baby in the stroller, which is really creepy to me.
So I'm sorry. Where was this? Who was this person who saw?
So the guy's name is Igor Evsiev, he's like the main credited urban explorer associated with finding this. He's like a university student, I think. It's not like this is primarily what he does, but it's just something he's interested in. The empty strollers really weird and creepy.
Yeah. So that was around this location?
In the town that they found the bunker in.
Strange.
Very strange.
It's a town full of spies.
Well, it makes you wonder. Like, the people that are left behind there, like...
Or also just people who like to ride their bikes from forest into field.
You just wonder if they're like... if they had something to do with the station or whatever. There's a lot of speculation about what the purpose of this number station was, as with all of them, right? Some people thought it was part of a system that was known as the Dead Hand or Perimeter System, which was a system that the Russians had designed to automatically trigger a launch of intercontinental ballistic missiles in the event that Russia was attacked, right? Mm-hmm. Basically, a failsafe that would assure like mutual destruction. Yeah. So I guess the way that would work would be that someone would have to continuously essentially deactivate it. Mm-hmm. And then if there's no one around to stop it, it just goes off, which is scary. Right. A lot of people think that the buzzing sound is designed to render the frequency unusable, which is interesting. Like if you wanted to reserve a radio station for special communications, then you put a annoying buzzer on it so that no one can use the station. Yeah. So it's open just to you. And then when you want to transmit your messages, you turn off the buzzer. But like most of the time, no one will ever occupy that station for any other reason. Yeah. Which is, that's interesting. It means the buzzing doesn't mean anything.
That makes sense. Because when I use like a transmitter to play like Bluetooth. Yeah. To play stuff from my phone through my car speakers, the way you do it is you go through a radio station, and you need to go through a radio station that doesn't have anything on it that's just static. Right. So if you want to keep people from being able to use your station, it makes sense that you would transmit some kind of noise so it's not free for anyone to use.
People don't end up setting up on it for some purpose. Yeah. Which is helpful to them. I get that. That makes a lot of sense. So it's like, we're not going to be using this 24/7, but we don't want anyone else to be using it. So this annoying noise until we need to actually say something. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, here's another interesting thing. In 2014, less than 24 hours after Crimea voted to join the Russian Federation, which was widely regarded as an illegitimate vote, like a fixed vote, right? The station was heard to broadcast the following message. It spelled out TERRAKOTA, and then said Mikhail, Dmitry, Zhenya, Boris. Mikhail, Dmitry, Zhenya, Boris, 81, 26, and then spelled it out again, TERRAKOTA. Nobody knows what that means. Nobody knows what that message
Nobody
means.
knows what this is.
The Mikhail, Dmitry, Zhenya, Boris is the call sign of the station, MDZB, essentially, or ZHB. I'm not sure exactly how that's coded, but the other message, no one knows what it means. But it does lend credence to the notion that there's code words involved, and the timing of that was relevant. So it's one transmission captured recently that people still are trying to figure out what it means, and they probably won't. Right?
Yeah,
it's almost definitely code so deep that no one would figure out what it meant. So anyway, moving on. Warrenton, Virginia. We're going to Warrenton, Virginia.
I can't wait.
The Russians are not the only ones that do this. We do it too. We've been doing it for a while.
You're shitting me.
We really do, and we really are.
Are you saying birds do it, bees do it, maybe even you and me can do it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's fall in love.
Let's broadcast in code.
Let's broadcast code over a number station.
So I read a very strange account by someone at the Daily Beast whose name is Shane Harris. He remembers being age 10 and finding an old shortwave radio in a trunk in his house. And he opened it and he skipped around the dial and he found a voice. And the voice was speaking numbers, 76743, and then a pause, and then repeat. Right? It's just like a man's voice reading those numbers over and over. And he said he never touched the radio again because it just weirded him out too much.
Yeah.
Right? He said it sounded so plaintive, like it felt like someone was
Asking for help.
Yeah, something about it just made him uncomfortable. I can see that. This is like a weird, disturbing thing. As an adult, he came to find out that this was most likely a broadcast on a number station that was operated out of Warrenton, Virginia. The broadcast would have been operated by the CIA and could only be decoded via a key. So, anyway, this is about where we look into the example I've prepared here.
All right.
We're going to talk a little bit about cryptography. This part I find interesting. I don't know if anyone's going to find this interesting or not, but I really do.
I find codes very interesting. I'm not good at them. Like, and yeah, this is definitely something you need to practice. You got me a Hunt a Killer box, and
Right.
that is an exercise in several kinds of different codes because they're all over that thing.
Puzzles and hidden messages. And
Yeah, probably at least like one or two ciphers per box.
Yeah, right.
And it was really interesting, but really frustrating, and I did not figure it out without hints. Which to me, like, I'm okay with looking up hints for that stuff because I want it to be fun.
Yeah, sure.
And so I don't care if I have to get a little help, but someone who's a little more hardcore I'm sure could figure them out. They're very solvable, but
yeah. It would take some inspiration and some time.
Yeah. I find them fascinating, just not really good at them.
Right. They're difficult. But this is not quite so. This will be a little bit easier to understand, believe it or not. All right. This is what I found really interesting about this is that if these are coded broadcasts, how does the decoding work, right? So the article that I read from the guy over at the Daily Beast, the title basically said that no one could decode these messages. It's an old school tech that is undecodable. I didn't understand that, right? The reasoning for this is encryption keys, essentially. And this is interesting because it's the same mechanism principally that is used in all kinds of like security, computer security, all kinds of key-based encryption that you use all the time. So this is a very simplified way of explaining how it works, right?
All right.
So the broadcast plus the key gives you the message, right?
Okay. So if you were the person supposed to receive this message, you might have several different keys. And so they're giving you the code, and then they're telling you the key that you're supposed to use to decode it. And then you would use that.
Yes. The code is completely indecipherable without the key. So the key would have to be provided, right? Without the key, you couldn't even guess at it for reasons I'm about to get into. It's the math of it is that it's just so hard to crack. So let me...
Well, especially when you're using numbers. There's like infinite possibilities for combinations if they can be repeated. And
yeah. I tried to do the math on this. I tried to do the math on this, where basically, if you assumed that, okay, so every single character in a message was shifted by a unique number, right? That would be to get the number of calculations you'd have to do to crack that puzzle would be 26 raised to the factorial x, where x is the number of letters in the message. Which means even an 8-character message would have 208,827,064,576 solutions.
ugh.
That's a lot. That's just for an 8-character message, which is crazy to me. I wrote someone check my math because I'm not confident on that, but I tried to like get at the math of this. Now, if you were really, really paranoid, you could also reassign the values of all 26 letters with another key, which, God, now I'm actually getting confused by myself. So that's basically if you, oh my God. It's confusing.
So it would be like, okay, this is the key that you're using, but it's like a key within a key.
Yeah, basically, if you...
So like solving the first layer gives you the second layer, and then you have to use a different key to solve that layer to get the actual message.
Yeah. Yes. Basically, reassigning the values of all the letters with yet another key makes it so that even if someone could lay out all of those 208 billion solutions, they still would arrive at all these different messages that didn't have likely any, that none of them were your actual message. There's another layer of extrapolation. I did the math on that. Oh God, here's the full number. It's 403 trillion-ish. I had a hard time doing this. I think it's that 208 billion raised or multiplied by 26 factorial. So that's like basically 403 trillion possible results.
It's a lot of results.
It's a lot. This is very confusing to me. But so I built out an example of this because I think it's fun. And we might cut a little bit of this episode out because there's a little bit of a solve to it, right?
Yeah.
But it's not principally difficult. So what I have here, this is a series of numbers broadcast over the radio, right?
Okay. So 5, 10, 12, 6, 17, 9, 4, 10.
Yes. Now, assuming...
5, 10, 12, 6, 17, 9, 4, 10.
Right. Now...
5. Okay.
All right, you got me.
Continue.
So now, assuming that this message is meant for you, you've also been provided a key. Someone would have sent you out into the world with a key. They probably would have sent you out with a lot of them, actually. But you happen to know that that message corresponds to this key. So
This is my key.
Yes. So the way to solve this is essentially to take your message and combine it with your key, right? So how you would do that is you would take your numbers and you would essentially add them to the numbers in the key. And then those would correspond
To a letter of the
to
alphabet.
letters of the alphabet. So while you're writing this down here, I'll continue to talk briefly about the fact that it's a really this is a really basic concept in cryptography that your spies in the world, if you were going to do this, if they've gone out, they have a one or many keys provided to them. They only have to remember the frequency of the station to listen to. That's the only part they have to remember. If their key is compromised, like someone gets the hold of the key or keys assigned to them, it's still not, the information still doesn't fall into the hands of the enemy. They would have to know the key and the station and which key was appropriate at what time. Usually the keys are only used for a short while and then they're replaced or discarded. So that means even if your enemies crack it now, even if they were to somehow figure out one of your broadcasts, by the time they go to use it on something else, the key has already changed. Which is another concept of this that keeps it sort of like fresh and keeps it from being hacked. So anyway, I keep losing my place. Once you understand this basic concept, you can understand how a lot of security works, So I wanted to use the example of Bluetooth pairing because I think it's a relatable concept.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you take your phone and you pair it with some device over Bluetooth. The initial pairing process is when your phone and the device, decide to pair with each other and they form a key between the two of them. So, the key is created when you pair it. That key is referenced in further communications. So it's remembered for the entirety of the time that they're together. So unless you forget the device and disconnect them, it'll always rely on that key. That's also why when you pair it, even if the thing disconnects, when you turn it back on, it automatically comes back together without you having to repair it because they have a key and they're already listening for each other at that point. The only way your connection is compromised, the only way that you can have like a vulnerability is if the key sharing process is overheard. You solved it?
I solved it.
Oh, what does it say?
It says it's trues.
Yeah.
Spelled TROOZ.
Yep. It's trues.
It's trues.
So yeah, by combining your broadcast and that key, that's the basic principle that makes this work. And key-based encryption, even like I said, it's even just an 8-character message is so mathematically improbable to break. That's why it's still such an effective technology. It's math essentially. It's like so many possibilities that it would be difficult if not impossible to break without knowing the key.
I want to make one of these for our listeners.
We can make a little broadcast cipher or whatever.
Yeah. They could email us for the keys and then they have to wait for the broadcast.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how that works. It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It's a really old way of reliably getting that information into someone's hands without it being compromised.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
So I want to jump back into Warrenton, Virginia real quick. If those keys are critical, how are they distributed? Right? Those keys are super important to getting the message across. So that it's the physical weakness in the system. Spies carry those keys with them, and if they're compromised, so would all the messages be, because they would be able to be decoded with that key or set of keys. Assuming, of course, again, they knew where to find the messages in the first place. So in that same article from the Daily Beast, Shane Harris claims to have been told by a former career intelligence officer that the keys were distributed in what is known as a one-time pad, which is a booklet, like small booklet. It has several pages, which are full of numbers, and every day the agents would discard the previous page.
Okay.
So there's a new code every day for broadcasts, right?
So it solves the problem of knowing which key to use because you use the key that is given to you for that specific day.
Yes. And every day, which is really interesting. That constantly refreshing those keys. The officer also said that some booklets were made with pages that were easy to dissolve in water to be destroyed, which is interesting. Some
self-destructed in 10 seconds.
Some turned into gum. Like, if you put the page in your mouth, it would turn into chewing gum. That's a weird one to me.
Bazooka Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some ideas.
Eat your spycraft.
I would like to eat my spycraft.
Oh.
Really would.
Anyway.
That was dumb. I'm sorry.
So, stations like this have been used in the U.S. for a really long time, and they go all the way back to secret communications with Cuba, which is interesting to me. Cuba. Just like that Russian station was operating oddly recently, like all the way up into the 2014, Crimea vote. The one that the Warrenton station has been communicating with Cuba. Or no. There's a Cuban station that broadcasts to us.
Oh, okay.
I actually think there were two. And those were operational all the way up into the mid-2000s, including that Cuban spies were arrested in Cuba for using number stations to communicate to the U.S. All the way clear up into the 2000s. Really kind of ancient spy tech, but for obvious reasons, it's still around. Bless you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But anyway, we're kind of winding our way down on this one. But despite the fantastic worldwide range of these things and the uncrackable nature of the broadcast, it seems like they're in decline. The U.S., the U.K., and Israel all claim that they have stopped using them. But there are still operational stations in Russia, Poland, Ukraine, China, and the Koreas. It is overwhelmingly Russia that is still using them, though.
I'm not surprised.
No, it seems kind of Russian. I don't know what that means, but it just kind of feels like...
I like to think that they're not even transmitting, like, really secretive information. It's just like a grocery list at this point. It's like...
It might not be anything important. It's just a sort of like a deterrent in the sense that it's like, oh, what are they up to? What are they saying? Like maybe they've got something,
And also, if you're transmitting nonsense all the time, it's a really good cover for when you're transmitting not nonsense.
Yes. Which I think is a strategy that feels very Russian to me. It's like a misdirection kind of thing.
Yeah.
It just feels sort of
if we're always doing it, then they're not going to know when it's something important.
Right. I think it's kind of the nature of it. There are a lot of stations in Russia. They include the stations EO7, VO7, M12, XPA, XPA2, and XPB. They're still active today, and they basically have increased in usage in Russia, up to 70% more broadcast schedules than in 2014. So over the last 5 years, they're up 70% in activity. There is a website called priom.org, PRIYOM.org. And you can go there and listen to these broadcasts daily, sometimes on the hour, sometimes on the half hour. They have a full schedule of number station broadcasts and when they happen, complete with destination targets, which is where they are fairly certain that they're meaning to communicate to. I'm not really sure how they compile all of that, but they believe they know. You can listen over the internet. And you can view the spectrograph as it happens, which is kind of cool to me.
Meaning, what does that mean?
You can see the essentially the frequencies light up and all that.
Oh, okay.
I just find that cool. You can use it like in browser software to listen in real time to radio broadcasts around the world. There are still whole communities of people doing this. I just think it's cool. So the way that this works is that there is a software called Kiwi SDR, It stands for Software Defined Radio, or Defined Radio, the SDR. And it is so these boards with radio receivers on them, about essentially the size of a credit card, right? It's sort of the kind of thing like a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
These boards, which mount to a BeagleBone board, which is BeagleBone is another credit card size computer like the Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
So you mount this, Kiwi SDR board onto a BeagleBone computer. You install the software on it and you operate it out of your house. You can just set it there. And it essentially has, if I understand it, 4 incoming streams. So it can listen 4 individual instances to all the radio frequencies around it in the, it's 0 kilohertz to 30 megahertz. It's a fairly wide range. And if you visit a website called sdr.hu, you can find a list of over 100 of these things that are out there in the world. Like, people have put these and they plugged them in their house, and then you can listen to them from their location. So I can go to some little computer somewhere in Russia and be one of 4 users who can actually tune the thing to different frequencies in real time and listen to what's going on and see it too. So you can see which frequencies are active and then zoom in on them and narrow in and listen to the broadcasts on those specific frequencies. It's super cool. I did a bunch of these last week. And I was listening to like Chinese radio stations, and I found like some weird chirpy things that I still don't really know what they were. And
it's just their language. That's not very nice.
Yeah, it's insensitive for me. I apologize. But yeah, you can listen to stuff. You can go to a whole bunch of different places. There's one in Cleveland. I want to know who the nerd in Cleveland is that set this up, as if we have anything interesting to listen to in Cleveland. But maybe we do. I don't know. I even use this. So I went to like a Chinese radio station, and I turned it up real loud, and I put Google Translate on my phone, and I held it up to the speaker and was reading real-time translation of some Chinese radio station. I just thought that was cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, so the real appeal and allure of these things is that nobody knows what they'll find in there. It's why it's why it still has, I think, an enduring popularity with people. Is
people love a mystery.
Yeah, and if you're listening at the right time, you might catch something that nobody else knows happened. It's I think it's really interesting and compelling.
And if you beat up enough spies and steal their keys, you might be able to crack the code.
Right. You can win at Russia.
Yeah.
Russia, the game.
Russia, the game.
Yeah, if you crack enough codes, you get to be Putin for like a day.
Only a day.
Yeah, just a day. That guy's not giving up a whole month.
That's true. Yeah. Well, it's still enough time to go on a horse ride with no shirt on.
So anyway, yeah, that's mostly it. That's all I kind of have on these. If you listen to this and you think that this might be kind of interesting to you, I highly recommend checking out sdr.hu, priyom.org, priyom.org, and also there's a site called signalshed.com, which also tracks these different secret broadcasts, right? But that's it. That's all I got.
That's it?
That's it. I mean, that's the real problem. The one thing that is frustrating about this to me is I cannot, no one probably can provide decoded broadcasts from these things. Like, due to the nature of them, they will not be cracked. Yes. So unless you know exactly what to listen for, you won't find it. But yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a number of them around the world, and I think it's just kind of interesting that, this is a thing that's been happening since World War I and somehow hasn't stopped. It actually is increasing in parts of the world.
It's crazy.
It kind of reminds me of the X-Files. I don't know.
I'd be really surprised if they didn't have an episode including number stations. It seems like the kind of topic they would tackle.
They probably do. They probably have something like it. I mean, there's all kinds of
get Mulder and Scully on it.
There's all kinds of Cold War sort of
motifs,
spy type stuff that crops up in the X-Files, and
yeah,
it's the secrecy of the Soviets and all that.
Cigarette smoking man.
Yeah. I gotta rewatch the X-Files. But that's it. That's all I got. I hope that was interesting in some way.
I thought it was interesting, and I got to crack a code.
Yeah. I actually had a solved one just here, just in case, to compare that against yours. You got it. It's trues. I'm happy.
Oh, okay. Like the math.
Yeah,
in case I messed my math up.
Yeah, that's the numerical result, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Just in case. I wanted to have the answer handy.
I can math.
Are you good?
I'm yawning.
Anyway, so I guess that does it. That's this episode of Goose Chase.
Goose Chase.
So thanks, Jason, if you're still listening to this. That was a cool topic. And you know what?
Thank you, Jason.
So I guess he said his wife has been getting into this lately and reading up on this. And so if there's some stuff that I left out that's like pretty interesting, I would love to hear about it.
Or anything she's found that's interesting and wants to tell us about it. We love to talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah. It's just like this is like one of those topics where I know that there's probably lots and lots out there of discussion and theories and subgroups dedicated to it. So definitely be interested in what you found and what you have to say.
That's the good thing and bad thing about this podcast is that we try to cover a lot of topics because, we're curious about everything. Mm-hmm. But that means, we're not in depth covering every single topic. And almost everything we do, there's like so much more research that could be done. So if anyone ever dives deeper than we do, and you want to tell us about it or share stuff with us that we missed or didn't catch or whatever, we are not opposed to that. We always want to know more.
Yeah, definitely. So let us know if you know more about this, or if you have more, topic ideas or suggestions. Email us and let us know.
Yeah, email us and say like, "Hey, stupid dum-dums, you missed this."
Yeah, right. I would like to be told if I'm a stupid dum-dum.
Yes.
But anyway, thank you for listening again to another episode of Goose Chase.
Goose Chase.
We will see you hopefully next week with another episode.
Hopefully.
We'll see what happens. But thanks for listening.
Bye.
Goodbye. All right.
You've been listening to Goose Chase. We are Goose Chase Podcast on Facebook and Twitter. On Twitter, our handle is @GooseChasePod, and our website is www.goosechasepodcast.com.
If you have any topics you'd like us to research, please email us at goosechasepodcast@gmail.com. If you like what we do on the show, please rate and review us on iTunes and Google Play.
Want to go on a goose chase?
Ooh, yes.